So, right. That is, hang on a minute, I myself is reading it, reading all the information that I gave you last night. You see the white collar crime at the end of the slides, in slides 136, it says that white collar crime is also known as occupational crime. All right. In KWSP, some time ago, the director of KWSP were being arrested. A scheme was being done, a criminal scheme, all right, where they take money and then they pay the money into the owner of the account, but the owner only get some portion, owner only get 70%, the other 30% of money that the owner take out from the KWSP goes to this one person as payment of service. All right, that is in the definition given by, and in your slide 136, it is called occupational crimes, that during your job you commit the crime, but you are the mastermind. The other officers are not doing it, but the one who received the money, the victim themselves, are willing to put 30% into that account. They thought that was a service rendered fees, yeah? But actually it is not. So that one is caught. The KWSP system have already cleared a system. All right, so there are no more this type of crime happening. That had happened. We have that experience, but that is not, the person is not charged with white collar crime or occupational crime. Yeah. All right. Next one. In another book, if you read, white collar crime is considered as a crime that is involving a certain group of society. All right, that among the elites, you know, in Malaysia we have this group called Tatler, same Tatler in the situation of all the bourgeoisies in France, right? Okay, these are the people that sometimes you read in the newspaper, they have parties every night and their pictures are put in the magazine, right? Among them, sometimes they have a scheme. Among us, there is a scheme called scheme Cepat Kaya. You know that scheme already, isn't it? But that one, it's not done by a person with highly educated person, but by a person who understood the system and take advantage of it, right? Or by an illegal money laundering system. In Malaysia, all right, you cannot give a loan. You have to be an institution to give loan. But for you to be an institution to give out loan, you have to be registered in the Bank Act, all right, or Money Lending Act. Otherwise, you cannot, right? What I'm referring to, in the old days, we call it Chetty system. Chetty nowadays is not available. Along that gives you money, that one, if they are not a registered company, that is considered as illegal. All right, but these people, some of them are really clever in designing. Are they highly educated? That makes them different. That sometimes, all right, okay, the word WCC are not being favored because of the confused definition that is given in England, in the other side of, and also in most of the criminal book, they have to be highly educated. Yeah, but in Malaysia, it's a little bit different. It doesn't meet that category in the description of character, right? Okay, next one. All right. In America, FBI is looking into this crime and punished it as a serious crime. All right. Okay. Now I have listed to you in 139. All right. Some characteristic of white collar crime. Okay. Low visibility. Right. Remember in the case of Enron, E-N-R-O-N, R-O-N, right. Emron, E-M-R-O-N. That case you can Google and you can read the case. All right, it's low visibility. Although they are very clear, they are very rich, but they are also very nice to all those who are candidates in the institution. Right, in the pension institution. So it's unfortunate for him to be slapped with WCC allegation, and nobody believes that he is a man who can create that kind of scheme against their own good fellow in the pension scheme. But he is that man. Yeah? All right. Okay. Low visibility. Sometimes it says that it is hard to detect. Hard to detect because they can hide themselves very well. They are very kind, or they are very distinguished. They don't mix with you at all. You can't imagine a rich man would want to commit WCC. All right. Okay, that's how they hide. They hide in a plain sight. Yeah. All right. Next one. It is complex because only him know the system. So usually the one who builds the system is the one that steals the money. All right. Okay. Right. Sometimes they diffuse the channel of the money. They give it to somebody else, all right, or they move it out of the country, and then at the end of the day, it is compiled into one account that belongs to them. So in your job, right, you have to have a link. Yeah, your evidence, you need to link him, the person who is in the organization, with the end of the account that he collects at the end of the day. All right, we've seen that happening in a lot of movies, isn't it? But then whether it's really happening so far in our world, okay, I have not read about WCC in Malaysia scheme, except when we were looking into the corruption scheme of Perwaja, right? You remember that case, Perwaja? All right, okay. In Perwaja, he has the fact of Perwaja, this man, he is actually not educated, but he is a man who struggled to build up skill that he then later become very skillful with his banking system. All right, and he was later become a millionaire, and he become friends to one of our prime minister, and he have shown a good character and have a very good concept of establishing new industries. So he have helped develop Perwaja Steel in Kuala Terengganu. All right, Perwaja Steel is a company that buy all the scrap metals all around Malaysia, send to this industry, send to this factory. They will then cook it again and then burn it and then put it in a new production. That is a steel, steel, hard steel that you need in order to build buildings. So he makes a good profit for the country Malaysia. All right, but at the same time, he commit what we call as corruption, but let's look into the organization crime. Okay, now what he did was, right, he hired a place, he hired a company from Japan to look into and improve the system. All right, the company from Japan come over, look into the system because the company in Japan at one time wanted to buy the area where he built the factory Perwaja. All right, so the Japanese company have all the information about that place in the beginning before the factory was being built. So this Japan company was hired to work with his factory, all right, the Perwaja factory. The next thing is that, all right, when all the money, when the factory is done, all the money, profit received, he then paid several millions in a separate check to the Japanese company. All right, to the Japanese company that was actually not the original company, but a branch company that was established in two places outside the country, in the offshore company. All right, okay. Now all the check was sent there, all the communication, the money was parked there, and later the money was sent to the account in Switzerland. And then at the end of the day, the one who have the account in Switzerland, that is he himself and his families. All right, okay. And during the discovery by the same prime minister that ran the checkup, why we because checkup over the company, but although the company paid some money into his private account, the company also make profit for the country. All right, okay. Now, at the end of the day, when audit came into the picture, look into it, they were surprised to know that the Japanese company that gives all the information, background, assistance, technology, and have set up the company Pewaja, actually doing it all for free, right? All the money that is paid is not paid to their company in Japan, all right, or in any one of their account, never show any payment, but the payment are shown in the audit book to be, all right, credited in some other companies, all right? Okay, at the end of the day, he was caught for corruption. But this type of corruption is also an occupation corruption, where he is the only one who knows the system, build the system, and then use it to benefit himself in the line of CBT. All right, okay. In the case of Eric Chia, it's CBT. It's also a case of corruption. All right, okay. Now let's look again into another one. That is an example. The fact that he is not well educated, but he is well skilled, all right? So that's the reason why WCC definition is not being favored, but it is part of the crime under financial crimes, yeah, financial study, all right? Okay, so what do you need? What do you need? How do you catch this white collar crime? In Malaysia, you catch them under in the Corruption Act, in the CBT Act, CMA Act, or Penal Code, or any other act that is related to simply proving fraud or simply proving CBT. All right, okay, right, okay.